Last time you found out how much netherrack I've been mining, the answer is a lot. And well, you may have seen some chests lying around, and well, I had to put that netherrack somewhere, right? I didn't want to let it all go to waste. But the thing is, there's chests everywhere. Chests everywhere. Chests everywhere. Chests everywhere. And some barrels. Chests everywhere. Chests everywhere. Full of netherrack. And I've got this one little furnace working away. I think I need to do something about that. And with me basing at a bastion, it makes sense to actually use the lava farm that they have set up already. Well, kind of set up. It needs some improvements, but let's not insult the piglins now. But yes, I've talked with my piglin neighbours and they're happy for me to work on this. Lots of lava already set up, I just need to add a system underneath to actually farm it, and a way to get that into loads of furnaces nice and easily. Doing it the usual Jaffa way and winging it, but it's been a while since I've messed with farms and making up my own design, so this is a project I've actually been looking forward to. I'll try and talk through the process as I go along, but with how big this lava farm is, once I've got a good setup, I should be able to smelt through the netherrack pretty quick. So after a bit of hot tub action, I have found out that these are actually 2 blocks deep. Good job I checked, because I don't want to be mining through to the side of lava. I do have a rough idea of how I want to decorate part of this farm, but for now I'm going to focus on the functionality. So we've got 10 of these pools, and these pools are 3 by 1, 2, and 12. 3 by 12, so 36 per pool, 360 buckets of lava for each run. Right, dripstone, cauldrons, oh, well that's not good. I'll deal with that later. Okay, if my maths is correct, I think I need like just over 5.5 stacks. I'll take 6 just to be safe. Cauldrons, 4, 5, and 6. Perfect. There we go, I've got my lava farm all there. You know what, I'm going to put this in place just so the lava can start doing its thing. And also gives me a chance to kind of dig out the area that I need. Lava, lava, there. We want dripstone there, cauldron here. Wow, that scared me. Gotta look where I'm going. Gotta be a bit more careful than that. I'm really cautious of mining that extra 1 block on the roof. Oh my god, why are you pushing me around? Why are you following me around? Are you just trying to see what I'm doing? Cauldrons. Oh, gosh, that light scared me. But one of them's full already. Okay, I can do a little free cam, cheat cam. Mix of them are already filling up, which is really good. So yeah, that's my lava farm. Well, the basis of it. You having fun there? Let's clear some land. Right, what I'll do is I'll just leave a 1 wide staircase here for now. Right, I'm positive I'll end up clearing more away, plus like covering this hole at some level, but I'm not quite sure what level. Okay, so let's talk about this farm, issues that I'm gonna have, and how I aim to resolve them. So as you've seen, as the cauldrons fill up, it's starting to light the place up. Go away, I'm trying to explain stuff. But from below, you can't really tell which ones are full and which ones aren't. So there's a chance I could go to farm these and only have like 5 cauldrons actually ready. Ooh, I can just peek over and see roughly how many is full. So here we have a cauldron, completely empty, and if I put a comparator pointing out from it, and let's do a red, excuse me, and let's put a redstone lamp there. So as you can see, there is no power coming from the cauldron. However, once the cauldron gets full, it gives off redstone signal. So I'm not completely sure how I'd want to do this. So maybe if I have like a line of comparators, say along this run here, and once all that side is full, I could have a light at the side just to let me know that, you know, a good amount of them are ready. I think it'd be a nice balance of letting me know when the farm's ready to run efficiently but not completely full. And when I say run the farm, what do I actually mean? Well, one way of doing it is just get some buckets, look up, hold right click. Oh, my inventory's full. No, go away. So yes, one way I could run it is literally just get buckets and run round collecting everything from underneath. However, as you've seen, there's kind of an inventory issue. So buckets only stack in stacks of 16, and then once they're actually full of lava, they take up a whole slot all by themselves. So meaning with my cluttered inventory, if I once again just run in a line and start farming, well, I'm leaving behind a trail of lava buckets. So how do I deal with this? Well, that's a good question. So once my inventory is full, as you've seen, all the lava buckets just ends up on the floor. First I considered having a rail underneath with a hopper minecart collecting these lava buckets. However, the hopper minecarts can only collect 5 items at a time, so that'll fill up instantly. By the time it goes to collect the last ones, they'll probably already be despawned. So as much as I really don't want to do it, I might have to do a floor full of hoppers. And well, I don't want to be manually running up and down all these lines. So I'm probably going to do a rail system on top of the hoppers, just so I can look up, hold right click, and collect all the lava. But then comes the issue of the lack of buckets. There are 360 cauldrons. I can only hold 16 buckets at a time. Well, okay, I can hold different stacks, but it just means me changing which slot I'm actually using on my hotbar. And to perfectly go in between just seems like too much work. So what I'll probably try and do is have various points where buckets get shot out at me. This way, if I've collected some lava and I go past the buckets that have been dropped off for me, it'll fill up the hand that I'm already using. Therefore, I won't need to switch which slot I'm using. But the question is, if all the floor is going to be hoppers, how do I give myself the buckets without the buckets just going straight through the system, through the hoppers? This is going to take some working out. But first of all, let's deal with putting hoppers in and some sort of rail system. I've decided to do 2 layers, have the hoppers at this layer, and I've got an extra gap here. Just, it feels a bit more roomy, plus I don't know, something tells me I might need that extra gap. Okay, so I want to fill the floor with hoppers. However, I don't feel like I need to where the cauldron's on. I could have that as like just a pathway, but my worry with that is if I'm going along the rail and collecting the buckets, sometimes they will fly off in different directions, and I'm worried that if they land on the path, they won't get collected. Plus, I need, well, a lot of hoppers. Okay, so let's try adding some different bricks than just blackstone. Got the deep slate tiles, quite dark brick, contrasts quite a lot, but I'll change it out if I decide I hate it, but it's something for now, right? Wow, that was loud. Excuse me, I'm trying to explain something. Thank you for your assistance. Didn't make me jump, nope. Not at all. You can't prove anything. Okay, so I filled in a lot of the bottom, all the hoppers, hopefully. Hopefully I don't need to do it along these lines. I've decided to do slabs on top of the blocks. One to help with spawn proofing, because it's one thing I have to keep in mind constantly around this place. Gotta spawn proof everything basically. I will have to remove some with probably how the rails are gonna go on top of it, just to make things easier where lines can go up and down and up there and down there, but I don't know what's gonna happen here. Yeah, very much winging it. Currently I've just got everything kind of running up to this line of netherrack, and then I don't really know what I'm gonna do from there. But that's a future Jaffa problem. For the rail, I'm gonna need powered rail. Where do I put the redstone to power it? Huh. Something I haven't really thought about. Anyway, I need to get a load of rails together, lay out some sort of order for the track. I'll figure it out as I go along. Hopefully. Okay, so after messing around for a while, making a few mistakes along the way, I've come up with something that I think works. It's very messy, but like, it should do the job. Just with the layout of the actual like lava pits above. The rail, well, I mean, it works nicely here, you know, up, down, up, onto the next. And then it gets a bit confusing because you go down and then back up and then you hit a wall. So I've decided to go round to the next, and then that leads onto this one. And yeah, it all gets a bit confusing. However, I have figured out the way to power the rails. Redstone torches on the sides of walls, and then for areas like this, because the powered rails can't unfortunately be on corners, I've had to do an extra block. I may have used deep slate beforehand, which will have injured me going through it, but switching it to glass, it resolves the issue, and then the redstone torch sticking out is enough to power the rails that are in the centre. So with most of these sections, I've got the actual corners one block away from the cauldrons, so when I'm underneath there won't be a cauldron that I'm missing out from grabbing. However, I don't know how it's happened, but there is, I believe, only one point that this happens, where the corner section is just one layer in, so where I'm here, I'm going to miss out on grabbing this one cauldron. So that cauldron may stay full forever. However, 360 cauldrons, I'm just going to maybe ignore the fact that it's gone down to 359. But yeah, the system works its way around and eventually comes up to a wall that has a powered rail next to it, so therefore the minecart will get sent straight back. This gives me a chance to get any more lava from the cauldrons that I may have missed along the first run. I've included a lot of powered rails, and honestly I'm worried it might be a bit too much because it could be a bit too speedy, but let's take it for a spin. Yeah, looking straight up. Sorry, this is very horrible to look at. It's very windy. But going into the glass, not getting suffocated, and then coming up to the end, hit the wall and get sent all the way back. And then with the ending point starting with a button, it's unpowered by the time I get there, and the cart's all ready to go for the next run. Okay, so the minecart is quite a bit faster than I remember it being, so I'm going to just, even though I don't have the dispensers set up to give me extra buckets, I'm just going to try this first section and see if I can get 16 buckets of lava by the time, well, it should be like the first run in a little bit. What I'm going to do is fill my inventory. Okay, one thing I'm kind of scared of, actually, is, so this cauldron above me has lava. If I right click with a lava bucket underneath, you know, let's not try it with a torch nearby. Oh, okay, so it just deposits it back in just like it would with actually placing it. It just replaces the actual lava that's already in there. I was partly worried that the lava was gonna be like, oh, it's already full, so it placed underneath and would just spread everywhere and burn me to death. Okay, good to know, good to know. Kinda nervous about this, honestly. So just press it, look up, hold right click. What could go wrong, right? Okay. I'm gonna let the minecart do its whole thing, because I think it has enough powered rails to get all the way around by itself. Ha! That's not a good sign. That's really not a good sign that a lava bucket made it all the way over here. Yeah, and then that one, I definitely need hoppers there. Okay, but most of it went in, and I actually collected... Let's have a look up. Ooh, I was collecting like 2 out of 3, which according to Meatloaf ain't bad. But it ain't good either. But then again, on the way back, you know, I'm coming back, so I'll be able to grab it. And with them stats, I should be able to grab all of them, right? And then, yeah, I've got the issue of it getting flung all the way over here, which is... I was expecting... Yeah, okay, one here makes sense, definitely. But wow, okay, I'm gonna have to possibly cover up all these walkways. Okay, what I'm going to do is try that again, but I'm going to try it in more of a central section and see if they end up on some of the side paths, because that's also one of my worries. Such a confusion track. Okay, I'll go for it after this. Okay, so I don't have hoppers there. Yeah, I definitely need to replace all the bit that tracks on with hoppers. So there's one back here. So I don't think they really go out sideways. I think it's just the momentum of going forward with it, as in if I collect this one while going around this corner, it pops off like here and lands. I'm gonna have to replace all these with hoppers, and I might have to put like a barricade here. Okay, I'll make some changes and get back to you. Oh yeah, and I've dug out the area a little more. I need to start thinking about how these are actually gonna flow into the furnaces. But hey, I'm getting lots of lava already, just from my tests. Okay, so I'm gonna put a brief pause on this project because, well, I'm about to get interrogated. Hello, hello?
Hello.
I see your name.
I'm here. Trying to find the way down. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Sometimes I have an idea what people are going to say. For you, I have no clue because your content's so unique. But what content creator, if any, would you say you're most similar to?
Hello there. So after tinkering and adding some extra hoppers to the system, and maybe getting carried away and setting up a bunch of the furnace system, well, it's the next day and I'm very keen to get stuck in with this again. I recently met up with Blueberry and talked about a few of my concerns with this. Saw her attempts at, well, Bluestone, we'll call it. But after consulting with the World Wide Web, get it? Web. I'll move on. I found a solution to my issue. You see, I'm gonna need a lot of buckets dropped off on this system. If I can get intervals where 16 buckets are dropped off at certain locations, I feel that will be enough to get me around the whole system. 360 lava pits. That means I'm gonna need 22 and a half, well, 23 pit stops of new buckets. I'm worried that some are gonna fall into hoppers, so let's say 25. 25 pit stops dropping off 16 buckets. How do I do this? Well, just with this simple setup, ignore the rest that's behind. I have a dropper with 32 blocks in, and if I have the torch in place like this, place a redstone. It is fired out 7. Why is it fired out 7 and not 8? I swear it's usually 8. Okay, these guys are getting annoying now. Okay, where was I? Right, let's put this back in so we got the 32 back in. So I want 16 of these 32. And Blueberry's idea was to have a system that kind of activated it, but also had a longer system, delayed system, that would activate it a second time. With hers, she just had the hopper on the end, so it would just fire 2 times. Having a bigger circuit would make it fire 3, so on and so forth. But with these two systems combined, well, originally I had this where it would fire 8, and then it would fire another 8. But then it would fire another 8, roughly. And eventually another 8. That took a while, I don't know why that took so long. But my issue is I have this system just going round and round and round, and it never stops. So with a mechanic that is rarely used, I've managed to do a repeater into the side of a repeater, which creates like a barrier. Right, let's do the full 64 blocks in there. So if we click it, and then a barrier is caused. Wait, that didn't work. Oh, do I need to put a delay on that? Broke my own system already. Okay, hopefully this system works. So I've got 64 in there. Fires off. And then it creates a barrier to stop it going round and round. But it still fires the twice. So therefore, 16 blocks. I've got the 16, so imagine if that's buckets, it's going to be perfect. So now all I've got to do is get this system and move it into my contraption 25 times. Though let's face it, the smarter solution is probably to just make it once and have it fire 25 droppers all at the same time. Right, before I deal with the droppers, I'll quickly talk through the furnace array that I've got set up. Not finished, and it is temporarily disabled while I test things. But with the hoppers and the lava farm, they will all lead to a certain double chest point. Just a single chest temporarily while I mess with things. And once the double chest is actually a double chest, it will filter through into a lower set of hoppers. And then this, I've got as a little snaky route going by all the furnaces. And the other hopper points connect at different points, and basically it'll do a whole little spiral, and then it goes all the way back to the beginning. So why have I got it going like this? So for fuel to go into furnaces, they have to connect to the side. Along the snaky route, I've got the hoppers going in a line, however, it will always prioritise going down to the hopper below. And like I've got here, where I've got a furnace with lava in, and the hopper is full. Once all the furnaces are full, the lava that are in the system will just carry on, continuing. And if I'm not smelting anything, but there's an overflow of lava, well, the system will allow it to continue all the way around through the snaky track and then all the way to the beginning until there's a slot free. And then the double chests along here are going to be for overflow. Let's face it, it's a manual farm. I need to run it to actually get the lava buckets. And I'm probably only going to run it when I need lots of things to smelt. But I'd rather have too much in the system already ready to use than me having to use this farm whenever I need to smelt things. But I also have the double chest connecting to different points of this snaky route. Basically for the opposite reason. If there's not enough, it distributes it to different furnaces more evenly. I've got full blocks on top of the hoppers that are going around the snaky route. This is to prevent lag. In one of the more recent updates, they've changed how hoppers work, and basically it helps with the lag if it has a full block on top of it. However, my issue is I need to sort out a system to actually distribute the stuff I want to smelt to go into the top of the furnaces. But that's a problem for future Jaffa. Let's first focus on these droppers, because I'm not going to be able to use this farm if there's not enough buckets. Okay, so yeah, as I've said before, I've changed all this middle section into hoppers. Oh, and then when I had that one lava bucket flung pretty far, I've made a wall here just to prevent that happening again. I'm kind of curious if it'll happen here, where if I collect here, will it go flying that way? I'll have to look into that, see what happens. But yes, droppers, droppers, droppers. Where do I want them? So if I'm starting off with 16, it only really gets me along here and then a few of these before I run out, which isn't great. So I'm definitely going to need some, possibly dropping like to the side of this wall or on this wall. And what I'm probably going to try and do is have it drop in between. And with how loose items work, if that's a bucket and I'm going by, I should pick it up, I hope. This dropper looks really excited to be involved in this farm. So basically the way that I'm wanting to run it is, well, when I press this button, I want all the droppers to drop 16 each. But I'm going to have a redstone system going through all this area somehow. And what I need to remember as well is there's lots of lava above me. I can't mine above, yet I want the droppers to be above me. It's going to be a fun experience, mess, challenge, whatever you want to call it. Oh, before I get started on putting the droppers in, the cobweb, I didn't just bring it here for the World Wide Web pun. So I'm going to have the droppers facing down. However, if I put one of these in front of a dropper, that's embarrassing because it's got no items in. So if I have a cobweb in front of a dropper, one, it controls very much where the items are going to go, and two, it'll hopefully prevent the items going off the side and going into the hoppers on the floor. One, just by keeping that elevation for a little bit of time, and two, just with the control of it. So where I place the hoppers, I'm going to have cobwebs underneath. Okay, I have very, very quickly run into an issue. So like I say, this is the contraption I want behind the button. And then this was going to be used to activate all the droppers 16 times. Currently I have the button here, and I've dug out a little pathway so redstone could run behind this wall and get to here to activate the first dropper. But I noticed some gaps that I was filling in along this wall, and well, if I go in free cam, it's right next to the main room of the Bastion. And if the button's here, well, I've got like 2 blocks to work with. Kind of a one wide wall, which I can't hide anything unless I sacrifice one of the areas of this room. But now I'm thinking, could I have the contraption elsewhere? Maybe it just like out here and I cover it up later? I'm gonna mess with some ideas and once again get back to you. Okay, disaster. I've been filling my gold farm with buckets, and well, I need to keep coming back for more iron. And basically, I'd run out, and I didn't realise the farm wasn't as efficient as I thought it was. However, all the hoppers were just full. Everything was full. Like overflowing. And basically the crafter had like jammed itself. I'm trying to make some repairs. But this system, well, it's not as efficient as I thought. This is my first time using the crafters really, so I'm kind of learning as I go. Basically, if I put this down to here, before the system can go around and power the redstone, it's already like too full because the hoppers are faster than the actual like crafter system. It's on 8, filling up to 9. Okay, so it does work, it's just... why is it not working? Okay, I have an idea for a possible fix. So originally I had the hoppers going this way, like the shape there, but then it was getting, with it being powered, it was jamming this hopper so nothing was getting to the crafter. Now I've got it going the other way, but now the crafter's just not powering. Basically, I've moved that chest, which was my overflow of odd bits and bobs. I've moved that to the side, which is overflowing with iron anyway. At least like the filter's coming through, so like all the stuff that I've probably been losing while this farm's been running, which has probably been quite a lot. At least that's all like coming through finally. Yeah, I don't know how long this has been jammed, but I've probably lost out on a lot of iron. But hopefully I can salvage most of it. Right, I have an idea. I know what I'm doing with redstone. Right, how about if I get a sticky piston? How about sticky piston, 2 observers? I think that'll work. I've got a little bit of redstone in here, just in case I need it. Oh my. That's powered, that's sending the signal. So with it being powered, I want it to power that. Do that, and then that, and then that. Is that working? That's working. I'm worried that I'm gonna get iron nuggets even. Right, this is filtering out what was already in there. Really confused. Right, let's change this hopper and start the chaos. Oh, did I get some nuggets come through? I did. Oh, quite a few as well. Yeah, it's a bit... It's not perfect. Getting quite a few nuggets. Okay, I think I got it. Maybe... do that. Oh, no. Wait. Ah! Do I have materials? I need materials. Nobody panic. Nobody panic. Panicking. It's so low on redstone. Really need to do a big mine at some point. Wait, what? Why am I getting why am I getting pressure plates? No! It's because it's flashing twice. I see what you're doing. Maybe. Well, I don't think I've ever used an iron pressure plate. I might have to this season just because of the fact that I've made however many I've made. I think it's working. Like, it's not got the 2 pulse going through. I think the issue before is because it was redstone, it was powering the piston and sending more through, and I think there's enough repeaters as well that the double, triple, whatever flash is getting calmed down by these 2 repeaters. I'm gonna monitor this for a while and just make sure it's only blocks that come through. Okay, we're getting down it, I'm hoping this system that I have created is a bit more reliable. Everything seems to be going smoothly, and it's filtering through everything. Look at all them blocks already, and I thought I was out of iron. Okay, it's going to be a little noisier with the piston, but that's fine. I don't care, as long as it works. I don't want to think about how much iron I've probably lost in this disaster. Nearly 10 stacks of blocks through this whole thing, and I've still got like a chest full, plus lots of hoppers full. I want to say it's fixed, but I'm going to stick around just to make sure. Okay, I think I fixed it. It's all flown through, it's all turned into blocks. I have figured out a more reliable way I think. But yes, there was this many blocks worth stuck in the filter. I don't want to think about how much I might have lost in the overflow. But it's all empty once again. Ah, I'm happy. Right, what was I doing? Oh yeah, more complex farm. Fantastic. Okay, so I've been working a lot more on this farm. I needed the iron because I was making lots and lots of buckets, because I've put, I think it's 28 droppers around, and then some of them are completely full, whereas others just have like one stack of 16, just because I was running out of iron. I've put a redstone, like, kind of starter system in place. Redstone line going out to all the droppers. I've been working a lot on it without testing it, and honestly, that kind of scares me a little. Oh yeah, I need to put the minecart back. Okay, so there's the minecart. And I'm gonna put a fair few buckets in my inventory. Okay, so I've done like 4 rows. So I can just switch along these if needed. If I end up with like a lava bucket, and I just keep replacing the lava bucket. Basically, I need to make sure that I pick up the buckets and like I'm not using the last bucket itself, if that makes sense. I'm just gonna go for it, hope for the best. If this goes perfectly, which I guarantee it won't, I will end up with 360 buckets of lava. Okay, this is gonna be like a game of percentages. We're gonna see how efficient it is. Let's get filling them buckets. I need to tidy up this area at some point, but yeah, I just need to go for it, right? What could possibly go wrong? I'm really scared. Okay, done. That honestly went a lot better than I expected. Gonna turn on my mini-map because, well, we can see how many loose buckets there are. There's a lot. So there's gonna be one downside, maybe. How did you end up over there? Right, I'll keep that in my inventory so I can count, like, the lava buckets that end up getting collected but thrown. There is a lava bucket up there. I see you. Good job, I've got my mini-map on, that's why I'm using it. That was a lot of buckets to pick up, and then there was 2 lava buckets. One somehow made it up top, which honestly is kind of one of the reasons why when I started building this I gave the extra gap, because I was worried in case some would get flung up, but it turns out that it still happened in this space anyway, but only the one. And then somehow one ended up in this back corner. Right, so now was the moment of truth. And let's try and work out how many lava buckets I collected. So the aim is 360. Why can't I walk through there? I know for a fact I haven't. I was down a stack, and then before I could switch to another stack, I was replacing the lava. Towards the end and then the way back, I didn't have to switch stacks, which was really promising. That is a full chest. Plus more. Am I going to be able to see how many more? Full chest. Nice. 27. Okay, 17 in that one. Ooh, 5 loose buckets there. 2 more loose buckets. 27. 3 there. 27. I am back from my calculations, and well, I ended up with a total of, drumroll please, 278. Which, honestly, is a lot better than I thought it would be. As I said, I kind of put a lot of this together without testing it at all, and well, yeah, I'm not sure how the results were going to be. But working out the percentage, it's come up to a total of 77%. Which, you know, over 3/4. Pretty good. I'm really happy with the lava farm section of this. Now I just gotta think about all the actual smelting. Still, 278 buckets of lava. I'm happy, I'm happy. Okay, so to ramble a bit more about how the furnaces are gonna work. The furnaces can only have 1 bucket in at a time, and then as they're going through this snake, it'll fill up these hoppers as well. So as they're coming through this way, the first one that comes in will fill up this furnace, then the next 5 will fill up this hopper, and then the rest will continue to the next. So basically I need 6 per furnace, really, before I start getting the ones going round and looping round constantly. And there are 64 furnaces, so 64 times 6, I need 384. And basically I'm over halfway with that. Now I have my iron farm fixed, I can actually get this place fully supplied with buckets, and that way I can run it a few times, obviously once the cauldrons have filled up, have a good supply ready to go, and then get filling all these furnaces. There's still lots I need to work on, so once again I'll come back to you. Excuse me. So once again I'll come back to you once I've made some progress. But honestly, that run has given me so much joy and confidence in this build. It's not completely pointless. Okay, I am back after tweaking with this farm over the past day, so it's still very much a mess. So in the actual rail system, now I actually have iron. I finished off supplying all the droppers with buckets, so that will keep me going a while and I won't really need to refill it until after 9 uses, potentially. The actual redstone starter system I've actually moved up, just so it's a bit more out of the way, a bit more convenient for actually getting around. I do actually need to start making this place, you know, functional and incorporate some ease of use. We want to make it easy to get into this minecart. However, moving that redstone contraption up means I've got a bucket there to start it, and then a button. I've got buckets on the mind. I've got buckets on the mind. Means I've got a button up here to start it off, and then a button at the side to start the minecart. I actually kind of like this because I can use the top button, release the buckets, and then it's all ready. So I won't have an issue of not having any to collect on this first few runs. And I'm going to test this out. I've got single chests lined up here, just so I can recount the lava buckets that I get once again. And from the buckets the previous time, and another time after, I actually connected it to the furnaces. I definitely need an easier way to get up and down this place. Now all the furnaces are full. All the hoppers next to them are full, and I dismantled one hopper from the snake system that we had going around, and well, I've got lots and lots of lava buckets that are ready. Wow, a lot of them that are ready to go round on this lava system. Wow, there is a lot. I've also set up a hopper system underneath. All the items that get cooked in the furnaces will go underneath to the bottom hopper, run along this system and go in the double chest at the end. So each row of 8 furnaces has got its own double chest. I've made a little trench along here to connect them all together with probably another line of hoppers. Though this is a system I might leave for now. Hello. Because I want to make an auto crafting system. I'm just going to run everything and see how these double chests go. And then as you can see, I've set up another rail system. Another rail system. So basically I'll use FreeCam for this just so I can actually get in. The furnaces, I've got a hopper on top and then a hopper on top of that. 2 hoppers on top of each furnace just so I can have it level with these blocks and make it more simple for the track. And I've set up my own loader system. I've seen some designs online and well, they weren't quite working for what I needed. So I've merged the ideas from the ones I've seen together with my own redstone knowledge. So the hopper minecart is on an activator rail, and as you can see this piston is activated, keeping it in place. I've got a comparator coming out on subtraction mode and a comparator going into the side with a mostly full composter. And the way that this works is if the hopper minecart has enough items in it, enough that the power coming from it will be greater than the power coming from the composter, it'll send power into this block, which will power that repeater, power this bit of redstone, which will turn off this redstone torch and deactivate the piston, releasing the minecart, which will then reset the system. And even with the piston powered with nothing being there, the minecart's able to get back in position and repeat the process. In short, the hopper minecart won't set off until it's got just over 2 stacks of items in its inventory. Because even though I haven't tested it, it should be that 1 stack gets delivered on the way to the other side and another stack on the way back, dropping roughly 2 stacks into the furnaces. And it'll come back, refill itself, and then won't set off until it has the right amount to deliver exactly the 2 stacks again. Make sense? Like I say, I haven't tested this, so we'll give it a test in a bit. But first, lava buckets. I've changed up the setup slightly, hopefully perfected it. Last time I got 278 buckets. Let's see if this new system will improve upon that. So similar to last time, just in case, I've got 4 stacks of buckets in my inventory, just in case I need to switch. What I'll do is fill the rest of my inventory, just so I can't actually pick up any of the buckets. It'll all go into the system, hopefully. Ooh, I'm kind of nervous. I'm very nervous. So let's release the buckets. And go. I'm picking up enough buckets. So far, at least. I've not had to change the hotbar slot at all, which is really good. When you're looking straight up, it's hard to tell where you are. But I gotta be reaching the end soon, right? I'm on my way back, and yeah, like, I've hardly lost any. And I'm still getting all these loose buckets that are filling up the the hotbar slot, so that's good. Really good. Wow, okay, it's like my actual hotbar slot. It's... Oh! Oh no! The bucket! The button for the bucket. I've released another stack, but that's okay. I didn't have to switch, like, from that... I keep banging my head. I didn't have to switch from that hotbar slot at all, which is amazing. Like, I'm shocked. I'm really happy how that's gone. I can see a loose lava bucket, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, really happy how that went. I'm excited to see the numbers, but first of all, the one downside to this farm is, yeah, I've got to pick up all the loose buckets now, because I don't want to lose all that iron. So give me a minute to clean up, and then we'll get to counting. Okay, tidy time done. The bad news was me pressing the button as soon as I got back, because, you know, I'm looking up, holding right click, and then it's just funny that the button happens to be dead in line. Gotta make sure I don't do that again. I'll figure something else out, put the button on the side or something. As you saw, there was one loose lava bucket that didn't make it into the hoppers, but the good news is that was the only lava bucket. Now to count how many actually made it into the system. I'm scared, nervous, but also excited. And the fact that I'm excited, I am such a nerd. Okay, so after working out the total amount of lava buckets, I can reveal that the grand total out of 360 is... Drumroll, please. 323. A whole 45 more than the first time. That takes me up to a percentage of 89.7. Pretty good, honestly, compared to how much of a mishmash this is. So overly complicated, unnecessarily. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that are telling me that I should have had the, I can't think what it's called, but the type of farm where it's like a conveyor belt and all the cauldrons get moved around, so I could just stay in one spot and farm them all. Yes, I could have made a farm like that, but this is just more fun. I came up with a concept. Through starting on it, I realised more and more design issues I would have, such as the lack of buckets going around, but each one of these flaws I've done my best to conquer. And with 89.7% efficiency, I am happy. There's a few little tweaks I'm going to make, such as indication lights, to tell me when the lava farm's ready to actually harvest. Is harvest the right word? I don't know, but you know what I mean. And as you know, while making this farm, I've also been working on the Super Smelter that I've attached to it. Let me clear out these hoglins, and then I think we need to do a test run on the smelters itself. Okay, just like every other single part of this farm, I am kinda nervous of testing this. I've got 16 stacks of netherrack on me, and underneath I've got the 8 double chests, so it should work out at 2 stacks of nether bricks in each of these double chests. It should. Unless something goes wrong. Right, so one design flaw is I definitely need to cover this thing up. Just, you know, hoglins and such walking over it is gonna disrupt the rail. Okay, once again, pretty nervous, but let's do this. Right, so that gets in 2 stacks round about now. Should set off. There we go. Doing its thing. It looks like it's lighting up. It's It's lighting up. I'm going to go in free cam. Make sure all the hoppers are lit up. Yep, they are. They are. They are. Yep. It's all... Oh, I've got one that hasn't. Maybe it's got a rail or something annoying stuck in it. It has. Of course it's got a rail stuck in it. Yep, so the cart makes it back up. Refills. I kind of want to make sure it refills the amount it's supposed to. I mean, it should. But it's always good to make sure. So it's still got the 22 in there, but that's okay. Yeah, that's good, that's good. It's working as intended. Still got a fair bit to take, but I'm just going to watch through it and make sure all goes to plan. And then we will count all the nether brick at the end. It's working. It's working. I might actually finally be able to work through all this netherrack. Get it all smelted. Get it into bricks. And then use it as I want. Either sell it or build with it. I'm so glad this has come together. This build has been so satisfying. Really challenged myself with the redstone, with the lava farm. Yes, I could have done it an easier way, but this way is just more fun, and it's been a challenge. A big obstacle is actually working around the structure itself. Just not having much space and having to come up with the idea of them certain points to drop buckets at. It's all come together, and fingers crossed this is all working, and I will end up with 16 stacks of nether brick. Okay, so the hopper minecart has come to a halt. However, one downside of this setup is he's still got some left in it. Can I, like, make an actual thing to make it go? Okay, I've got an idea. Yep, still got a sticky piston here. That's good. So this should... Okay, and that can be my manual release button. Once again, obstacles, but I'm one by one working through them. I'm really getting the redstone buzz back. It's been a while since I've done a farm like this. Right, and the minecart hopper is now empty. I should end up with 16 stacks of nether brick. Preferably 2 stacks in each double chest. However, with the hiccup at the end, I doubt that's happened. And that works out at exactly 16 stacks. I'm so happy. This has all worked. All the furnaces have got more lava to go in. Lots and lots of lava to go in. Once I make these chests, double chests as well, there's going to be so much more lava going through. It's worked. I can't believe how well it has worked. Finally, smelt all this netherrack. So yes, this farm definitely isn't perfect. I'm going to do some sort of build to cover it up. Definitely need to make it a bit more easy to get to certain points, just in case any issues happen, such as unsmeltable items getting in the furnaces. It's fairly manual putting the buckets back into the droppers. And like I say, I will add some little details, such as a light on the wall maybe, to indicate when the lava farm's actually ready to harvest. But yes, I'm so happy this has all worked out. But yes, fixing my iron farm and making a very efficient lava farm from, well, the game's only natural lava farm, really. I mean, come on, this is like made to be a lava farm. And then adding a super smelter attached to it. I'm so happy with how it's turned out, and so excited to get smelting all this netherrack. I'm gonna leave it there for now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this hasn't been too complex or boring or anything. Hope you found it as interesting as I have, working through the process of making this farm and overcoming every obstacle. But yes, make sure you do all that YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, and share. And I'll see you when I see you. Actually, that's a good point. I could just do another run on the minecart again to collect all the loose buckets.